everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the latest episode of Hidden Jewels of Soul and Disco. I do hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. In this week's episode we are featuring the Artistics. In my humble opinion, the Artistics are way too overlooked. Therefore, before we dive into the story of the Artistics, let's have a listen to some snippets.
But I know that's not enough to replace the feeling that I feel when I'm loving you. I'm a small man in a big man's disguise, and I won't reveal just how I feel, 'cause I know you wanna sing with this heart. I will sing to you long after stars.
The Artistics were founded at the Marshall High School in Chicago, Illinois in 1958. And the group had a constant change of lineup, but the founding lineup was Bert Thomas, Larry Johnson, Jesse Bullion, and Aaron Floyd. In 1960, they took part at the Democratic National Convention. And during that time, they were kind of discovered by a fellow artist, Major Lance. And he took them with him, and they recorded several songs with him, especially Monkey Time, and of course, songs from the album of that same title. Carl Davis, who was the producer of Major Lance, made sure the Artistics got a record deal from OK Records. And they released a couple of singles, which were kind of local hits. And in 1967, they released their first album, which was called Get My Hands on Some Lovin'. Well, the follow-up singles from that album didn't do much, and they parted ways with OK Records. Carl Davis, who became A&R on Brunswick, well, he made sure that the Artistics got a deal with Brunswick. And in that same year, in 1967 as well, they released their biggest single, and it was called I'm Gonna Miss You. And to cash in on that success, Brunswick also released in that year, and we're still in 1967, the album I'm Gonna Miss You. In 1968, the Articulate Artistics followed with my personal highlight in 1969, What Happened, the Artistics. And this one was produced by Carl Davis and Eugen Records, and they also contributed songs for that album. My personal highlight is their version of What the World Needs Now. And also with the record came the original inner sleeve, and I absolutely love when the record has the original inner sleeve because it features some great historical moments, and you can also see what was available at that time. In 1970, they released yet another album, which was called Make My Life Over. From that point on, it took 3 years till 1973 till they released their album Look Out. Unfortunately, all those albums, especially from the early 70s, didn't have many major hits. So it's historically not known who parted ways, if it was the record label who said, well, we don't see a future, or if the group said, well, we don't see a future with the record label. The result is the same. So the Artistics left Brunswick and also disbanded in the same year in 1973. In 1999, an attempt was made to recreate the group, and several recordings were made for the Motor City label, but that was pretty much it. The good news is, for all those Chicago soul music lovers out there, the albums are still available. They are affordable, so you won't pay a big buck for getting records of the Artistics in a good shape. And I would highly suggest that you check out a couple of their tracks on YouTube, and if you find them good, I highly suggest you get one of their records. Like I said, they're available, they're not super expensive, they're like kind of under the radar, and they sound fantastic. This group had so much potential, and it's a shame that if it was a lack of marketing or whatever the reasons were, that they really couldn't have a big breakthrough during that time. If you like that video, I highly suggest you check out the playlist up there, and I'll see you next time.